Welcome back. We back hitting holy lands in America, part three. We jumping straight into it. All right, we over here in the Book of Prophecies by your man Christopher Columbus. All right, we on page 5. I think we still in the intro. It reads: During his residence at Granada, Columbus added to his projects the compilation of a manuscript that Ferdinand, Columbus's natural son, referred to as the Book of Prophecies. Mauricio, however, provided a title that corresponded to its contents: book or collection of authorities, authoritative writings, sayings, opinions, and prophecies concerning the need to recover the holy city and Mount Zion, and the findings and conversion of the islands of the Indies and all peoples and nations. Designed from the outset as a manuscript to be presented to Isabella of Castile and Ferdinand of Aragon, the Book of Prophecies is a collection of biblical texts and authorities drawn from the fathers of the church and from medieval theologians and canonicates drawn from the fathers of the church and from medieval theologians and canonists. Its purpose was to locate within the historical schema of the salvation of the human race the discovery of the Indies, presented as the first step toward the liberation of Jerusalem and the Holy Land from Muslim domination, and to assign a prominent role in these events to Christopher Columbus. Alright, so yeah, your man Columbus, he was in need to recover the holy city in Mount Zion. Alright, this is what they don't tell you about Columbus in school. Okay, but yeah, he was on a mission. Alright, he was definitely on a mission. And let's see. Hold on, y'all. What is that? Yeah. So he was trying to get to Jerusalem, the Holy Land. Alright, Mount Zion, right there. City of David, Valley of Jehoshaphat, Mount of Olives. Now, I'm not saying that this map is accurate right here, but this is just to give you a little sample of what's there in ancient Jerusalem. Okay, let's keep it rolling. Alright. So not only not only was there the Book of Prophecies, Columbus also put out some letters to all the Catholic kings on the recovery of the holy city of Jerusalem. Alright? The recovery of the holy city of Jerusalem. Alright? Let's get let's see what we want to get real quick. Yeah, we're gonna get a little bit of this real quick. Alright. Now, This right here is the actual writing, but they had to translate it. All right, let's see what it says. All right, so this is Columbus writing this. This is one of his letters. All right, most Christian and high princes. The reason why I desire the restitution of the holy house to the militant church is the following. At a very early age, I began to navigate the seas and have ever since continued to do so. The art of navigation itself renders its adepts inclined to investigate the secrets of this world. More than 40 years have passed since I have been in this habit. Every place which has been thus far navigated by others has been also navigated by me. I have dealt and talked with learned people, both laymen and ecclesiastical, Greek and Latin, Jews and Moors, and sectarians of many other creeds. To this aspiration of mine, I always found the Lord very propitious. He gave me an intelligent spirit. He made me abundantly qualified for the office of a sailor. He caused me to know all that suffers for my purpose of astrology, geometry, and arithmetic. And I received from him the gift of having ability in my mind and my hands to draw a sphere and mark on it everything in its proper place, the cities, rivers, mountains, islands, and ports. During the time referred to, I have been careful to study what has been written on cosmography, history, chronicles, philosophy, and other arts. And it was in this way that our Lord, whose hand is in this affair, I palpably see, put in my mind the idea that it was practicable to navigate from here to the Indies, and kindled in my heart the desire to accomplish it. Urged by this fire, I came before your highness. Alright, so let's get a little bit more. For everyone who heard of my undertaking laughed at me and denied its soundness. Neither the knowledge I possessed of the sciences aforenamed, nor their own intrinsic authority was of any avail to me. Only in your highness I found faith and perseverance. Who doubts that this light came to your highness, as it had come to me, from that very Holy Spirit who so loudly and clearly has given consolation to the world by means of the wonderful rays of light emanating from the holy and sacred scriptures in the 44 books of the Old Testament and the 4 Gospels and 23 epistles of the blessed apostles? Was not that Spirit the one who urged me to go on constantly without stopping a moment, and is still urging me and hastening my steps? Your Highness must remember how little money your Highness could dispose of when the siege of Granada was undertaken. The determination to undertake all things was left by our Lord to the free will of every one of us. He gives ammunition to many, but he denies to none the human power which he may need to engage in the undertaking. Oh, the goodness of the Lord, who wishes the people to do those things which will prove to be their own advantage. Day and night, and at all moments, men should be thanking him with the greatest devotion. I said before that many things contained in the prophecies have not been fulfilled as yet, and I say now, they are great things, and that according to all signs of our Lord is hastening its fulfillment. The preaching of the gospel in so many lands is in such a short time as we have lately seen proves that to me. All right. This is the mind of your man Columbus. All right. Now, if you read a lot of Columbus stuff, you'll see that he puts a lot of scriptures and things in there. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to get to. Okay. Cardinal Petrus D. Alaco writes much about the end of the Mohammedan sect and the advent of the Antichrist in a book which he wrote with the title in Latin On the Harmony of Astronomic Truth with the historical statements. He refutes in that book the opinions of many astronomers on the 10 revolutions of Saturn. This he does especially at the end of said book. In the last 9 chapters of the same, Abbe Joachim of Calabria said that the one who was to rebuild the house of Mount Zion would come from Spain. Alright, see that? So your man was on a mission, man. He was in need to rebuild the house of Mount Zion. He felt that the Lord was with him. Alright. Now, in Wikipedia, they break down the book of prophecies a little bit. Alright, they tell you that this journal of sorts conveys the medieval notion that in order for the end of the world or second coming of their Christ to occur, certain events must first be enacted. 1. Christianity must be spread throughout the world. 2. The Garden of Eden must be found. Alright. It was the common belief in the Middle Ages that the biblical Garden of Eden must have been on top of a crag or mountaintop so that it would not have been affected by the first destruction of the world by flood. Upon arriving in Venezuela in 1498, Columbus may have thought that the verdant crags of Venezuela bore the garden of the Old Testament of the Bible. Number 3, a last crusade must take back the Holy Land from the Muslims, and that when Christ comes, he will come back in the place he lived and died, Jerusalem. And number 4, a last world emperor must be chosen. Alright. So you see what was going on, right? In this book of prophecies. Alright, they was going hard. Now, we're gonna talk about Zion today. Alright. Let's get the etymology of the word Zion. The word Zion is, they say, is late Old English Zion, from Greek Sion, from Hebrew Sion, name of a Canaanite hill fortress in Jerusalem captured by David and called in the Bible City of David. It became the center of Jewish life and worship. Yeah. Alright. Usually figurative heavenward. And they took that and they turned it into Zionism. And you got these so-called Zionists today. But that's not what Zion was all about. But yes, your man Columbus, he was in desperate need. Alright, let's get into some scriptures that deal with Zion. First we're going to Jubilees chapter 1, verse 27. Alright. and you do write down for yourself all these words which I declare unto you on this mountain. All right, this is talking to Moses, right? Moshe, when he was on Mount Sinai, right? The first and the last, which shall come to pass in all the divisions of the days in the Torah, and in the testimony, and in the weeks, and the jubilees, unto eternity, until I descend and tabernacle with them throughout eternity. And he said to the angel of the presence, write for Moshe, from the beginning of creation till my sanctuary has been built among them for all eternity. And Hawa will appear to the eyes of all, and all shall know that I am Hawa of Israel, Yasharel, and the father of all the children of Jacob, and came on Mount Zion for all eternity. And Zion and Jerusalem shall be holy. And the angel of the presence, who went before the camp of Israel, took the tables of the divisions of the years from the time of the creation of Torah and of the testimony of the weeks of the jubilees, according to the individual years, according to all the number of the jubilees, according to the individual years, from the day of the new creation, when the heavens and the earth shall be renewed, and all that creation according to the powers of the heaven, according to all the creation of the earth, until the sanctuary of Hawa shall be made in Jerusalem on Mount Zion, and all the luminaries be renewed for healing and for peace and for blessing for all the elect of Israel, and that thus it may be from that day and unto all the days of the earth. Alright? I'm going to skip over to chapter 4 real quick. Let's get verse 26. In Jubilees, for Hawa has 4 places on the earth: the Garden of Eden, and the Mount of the East, and this mountain on which you are on this day, Mount Sinai, and Mount Zion, which will be sanctified in the new creation for a sanctification of the earth. Through it will the earth be sanctified from all its guilt and its uncleanness throughout the generations of the world. Alright. So Hawa has 4 places on the earth, right? Garden of Eden, the mountain of the east, Mount Sinai, and Mount Zion. Alright. Most people are familiar with those, but if you don't know about the mountain of the east, it's also called Safar. Alright, a mountain of the east, a line drawn from which to Mesha formed the boundary of the Joktanitic tribes. The name may remind us of Safar, which the ancients mentioned as a chief place of South Arabia. Alright, and they're connecting to Arabia, but we're going to get the real locations, alright? Where's the real Arabia in the first place? But yeah, the mountain of the east is also called Safar. Alright? Skipping on over to Jubilees chapter 8, and we're going to go to verse 10. And it came to pass in the beginning of the 33rd Jubilee that they divided the earth into 3 parts for Shem, and Cam or Ham and Japheth, according to the inheritance of each in the first year in the first week, when one of us who had been sent was with them. And he called his sons, and they drew nigh to him, they and their children, and he divided the earth into the lots, which his three sons were to take in possession. And they reached forth their hands and took the writing out of the bosom of Noah, their father. And there came forth on the writing as Shem's lot, the middle of the earth, which he should take as an inheritance for himself and for his sons for the generation of eternity. From the middle of the mountain range of Rapha, from the mouth of the water, from the river Tina, and his portion goes towards the west through the midst of this river, and it extends till it reaches the water of the abysses, out of which this river goes forth and pours its waters into the sea Miat. And this river flows into the great sea, and all that is towards the north is Japheth's, and all that is toward the Negev belongs to Shem, and it extends till it reaches Carasso. This is in the bosom of the tongue which looks toward the Negev, and his portion extends along the great sea, and it extends in a straight line till it reaches the west of the tongue which looks towards the Negev, for this sea is named the tongue of the Mitzri Sea. And it turns from here towards the Negev, towards the mouth of the great sea, on the shore of its waters, and it extends to the west to Afra, and it extends till it reaches the waters of the river Gahar. It's Gahar, right? And to the south of the waters of Gahan, to the banks of this river. Wait a minute, that's Gahan. Gihon. Yeah, the Gahan. Okay. And it extends towards the east till it reaches the Garden of Eden, to the south thereof, to the south and from the east of the whole land of Eden and the whole east. It turns to the east and proceeds till it reaches the east of the mountain named Rapha, and it descends to the bank of the mouth of the river Tina. This portion came forth by lot for Shem and his sons, and they should possess it forever unto his generations forevermore. And Noah rejoiced that this portion came forth for Shem and for his sons, and he remembered all that he had spoken with his mouth in prophecy. For he had said, Blessed be Hawah of Shem, and may Hawah dwell in the dwelling of Shem. And he knew that the Garden of Eden is the Holy of Holies, and the dwelling of Hawah, and Mount Sinai, the center of the desert, and Mount Zion, the center of the navel of the earth. These three were created as holy places, facing each other. And he blessed the Most High, the Elohim of Elohims, who had put the word of Hawah into his mouth, and Hawah forevermore. And he knew that a blessed portion and a blessing had come to Shem and his sons unto the generations forever, the whole land of Eden, and the whole land of the Red Sea, and the whole land of the east, and India, and on the Red Sea, and the mountains thereof, and all the land of Bashan, and all the land of Lebanon, and the islands of Caphtor, and all the mountains of Sinir, and Ammana, and the mountains of Ashur in the north, and all the land of Elam, Asher, and Babel, and Shushan, and Madai, and all the mountains of Ararat, and all the region beyond the sea, which is beyond the mountains of Ashur, towards the north. a blessed and spacious land, and all that is in it is very good. All right, so we just getting a little orientation going on. We know that this Sion is in the land of Shem, all right, along with the Garden of Eden. All right, now I believe the Garden of Eden is untouchable at this point. It could be invisible somewhere, um, but yeah, I don't think you can access the Garden of Eden at this point. Maybe at the end of this age, when we get to Judgment Day, we'll see the Garden of Eden pop back up. But I don't think you can touch that right now. But it says that they are all facing each other, right? All right, the Garden of Eden, Mount Sinai, and Mount Zion. They're all facing each other. Yeah. These three were created as holy places facing each other. All right. So, let me see. Just for fun, I got a couple little maps we're gonna look at today. I thought this one right here was kind of interesting. Let me see. What is it? Is it this one? Okay, nah, it's not this one. All right, but this was fine. We looking at them. Just like we got on part 1 and 2. This is supposed to be North America right here, and as you can see, there's no separation. You can go straight over there to Asia Minor. But this is Asia Major, India Superior. We already got that in part 1. Alright. The land of Asher. Alright. It's all right here. Okay? All of this. Alright. Ancient China. All of that. Mizraim. But yes, as you can see, you can get straight over there. This is a globe form map, so you know you can't trust it. But yes, it connects and it goes straight into Asia Minor. Alright. And there's some weird things going on this map, man. You got a lot of weird creatures up in this map. What is this? What is that? Alright, and if you look in Australis or Antarctica, Antarctico, you got some weird looking animals over here too. Yeah, man. This is about as close as I can zoom in on it. You got a whole unicorn right here. I hope you can see that. Alright. What's that? What's this in the water? We got faces popping up out of the water. What are these, giants? What's going on here? I've seen that character before too. I don't know where I've seen that at. But yeah, we got some We got some interesting things going on this map. Alright, but the main thing I wanted to point out was it's connected. Alright. Yeah. Let's catch another one real quick. Let's see. And the other one I had. Oh yeah. Okay. So this one is interesting. Alright, you got Shem, which they got as Sem, Japheth, and Cam or Ham. I thought it was interesting because they got your man Shem looking like Red Fox out this joint. That didn't look like Red Fox to me. Alright. But yeah. This is an interesting little map. Cause you see they got Europe. They got what's called, they calling it Ethiopia right here. Africa. Alright. But that's it. Alright. They ain't got, I guess America's supposed to be over here with Shem at. But hold up. Yeah, they got it cut off. Alright. But this would be Shem's section right here. So that would make sense. They got Ham looking kind of crazy. Yeah. Cam or Ham. Alright. And on these old maps, they like to put these so-called, I guess they calling them gods, blowing wind. That's odd. Right? Supposed to be Tartaria right here, but we know that's kind of connected to all of this. Alright. But yeah, I thought this map was interesting because it had Japheth. Alright. He got like a turban or something on, right? What Shem got on his head? And then he got the headband. I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting little map. Alright, we'll get a couple maps in a minute, but let's get to it. Alright. Because since we know that India, Asia Major, is right here in America, we definitely know that Judah is here as well, right? Alright. Judah, Utah, alright? The kingdom of Judah was in Utah. Alright, the best-selling book When Rocks Cry Out by Horace Butler has already demonstrated that Peru was Jerusalem and that the kingdom of Judah is in Utah. So, some believe that Peru has Jerusalem because they got a Cusco, they got a city of David in there. Alright, but I'm going to go with Utah. Alright, as a location because it matches up. Alright, well, he used King James Version, Deuteronomy 34:1-3, which as it reads, and Moses went up from the plains of Moab and the Mount Nebo to the top of Pisgah, that is over against Jericho, and the Most High showed him all the land of Gilead unto Dan, and all Naphtali, and the land of Ephraim and Manasseh, and the land of Judah, unto the utmost sea, and the south, and the plain of the valley of Jericho, the city of palm trees, unto Zor. All right, now this is coming straight out of the book America is the True Old World. This is volume 2. All right, but it says the strange thing about the description of the kingdom of Judah given in 34 is that all these biblical names can be found in Utah. Right? You know that? Okay, Utah. You got Mount Utah. South Gilead is in Utah. You got Dan, short for Daniel. Uh, it's got a place called Naphi, Eden, Utah, Goshen, Jordan, Salt Lake, Mount Carmel. All this is in Utah, man. Zion Canyon, Zion National Park. All right, now this is where I believe the actual real Zion is. All right, in my opinion. And this ain't it. It's somewhere near it. But I'm going with this location. And we gonna hone in on it a little bit. We're gonna focus in on Zion National Park. But you got a Benjamin, Utah, you got a Enoch, Utah, Joseph, Devon, Providence, Salem. The nickname is the Beehive State. There's a mountain in eastern Nevada named Mount Moriah, and it is over 12,000 feet high. In Utah, not only is there a River Jordan, but it runs out of a freshwater lake into the Great Salt Lake, which is remarkably like the Dead Sea. Alright? Because it's the real one, right? There is also a Mount Nebo in Utah, approximately 12,000 feet high. So yes, with this evidence this strong, the real Judah was in Utah. People try to say that it was the Mormons that gave these places in Utah biblical names to support their position as Jews. However, this explanation fails miserably because there are no 12,000 feet high mountains in modern day Israel. Therefore, the real Judah or Israel had to be in Utah because it fits the description of the kingdom of Judah perfectly. Alright, the name Utah is derived from the name of it means people of the mountains. Into other sources, Utah is derived from the Apache name Yudah, which means tall, and was said as Utah. Subsequently, the English-speaking people adapted the word Utah. There is no J in Hebrew, therefore Judah is Yudah, especially when you consider the fact that the J and the Y have the same meaning and numerical value and are interchangeable as well. Alright, now that's chapter 48. Go check this book out. Very good book. Alright. Only thing is they try to put everything in a moral perspective. Alright. So you do gotta dodge it a little bit in that book. But yeah. Here go 5 similarities between the Holy Land and Utah. Alright? Don't worry about this globe concept they got right here. But 5 incredible coincidental similarities between the Holy Land and Utah. Alright, both have a hypersaline lake. Right? So this is on this side you got what they call the Holy Land today, where they got the Dead Sea, right? And then you got the Great Salt Lake. Alright? Now the salt, it's too much salt for anything to live in that lake. Therefore, it could be considered the Dead Sea. And we got it from 432 to drop. It's Dawood. Davis Sea. The Davis Sea. But yeah. Alright, this is the real. Alright, you see the similarity? But this one has actual salt all around it, right? Both have a smaller freshwater lake nearby. Alright? See that? And that? All right, except this is a flipped. All right. Oh no, they ain't flipped. They the same. They the same. All right. A river flows from each freshwater lake into each saltwater lake. So they got a Jordan River over there. You also have a Jordan River right here. All right. And both salt lakes have a holy city nearby. Jerusalem in Palestine and Salt Lake City in Utah. Both cities are capital cities. Okay, Jerusalem as the capital of Israel is widely disputed, but we're not going to get into the politics of all that. And both cities became the headquarters for Judaism and Mormonism. The so-called Mormonism, right? Both of these cities were seen as promised lands. So they trying to call this, they trying to say because the Mormons fled persecution in Missouri and ended up in the Salt Lake City, it was a promised land to them. All right, and we know about the Israelites fleeing slavery in Egypt. All right, but yes, the cover up is real, man. All right, the duplications, the imitation is real. All right. So what does this all mean? I have no idea. Well, I do. Uh, you got the real versus the fake, man. All right, let's get to it. Because if we dig into Zion National Park, right? All right. Zion's enduring legacy, exploring the historical and spiritual significance behind the park's name. Now, some people might say they wouldn't just name it Zion National Park, would they? They just wouldn't do that, would they? Yeah, they actually would. They like to do stuff like that. They like to put it right in your face. Uh, it serves, all right, what to know? It serves as a reminder of the human connection to the land and the enduring power of the names to shape our perceptions and experiences. From its biblical origin to its Mormon pioneer heritage, the name Zion evokes a sense of wonder, reverence, and deep appreciation for the natural beauty that surrounds us. Alright? Nestled in the heart of southwestern Utah, Zion National Park captivates visitors with its breathtaking sandstone canyons, cascading waterfalls, and lush vegetation. But beyond its natural wonders, the park's name itself holds a fascinating history. The question, why is Zion National Park named that, has intrigued countless explorers and nature enthusiasts alike. So we know the word Zion comes from the Hebrew word Zion, alright, which refers to a fortified hill in Jerusalem. In the Bible, Mount Zion is mentioned as the dwelling place of the Most High and a symbol of his presence. The early Mormon settlers who explored the area were deeply influenced by their religious belief, and they believed that the grandeur of the canyons resembled the biblical Zion. Oh, that's what they believed, huh? Okay. In 1858, a group of Mormon pioneers led by Brigham Young entered the area and established the first permanent settlement. They named the valley Little Zion and envisioned it as a refuge for the persecuted faith. See, every time they try to throw you off, they name it Little something. All right, they calling it Little Zion, just like you got Little Egypt, just like you had the Little Ice Age. All right, they trying to belittle the real, man. All right, but we know what it is, man. The settlers believed the canyons provided a sanctuary where they could practice their religion freely. In 1909, President William Howard Taft designated the area as the Muncontuweap National Monument. However, the name proved to be difficult to pronounce and remember. So the name they said was too difficult to remember. So in 1919, Congress changed the name to Zion National Monument, recognizing its religious and historical significance. Oh, was that what happened in 1919? All right. In 1929, Zion National Monument was expanded and elevated to the status of a national park. The name Zion was retained, solidifying its connection to the biblical Mount Zion and the Mormon pioneers who first settled the area. All right. So you don't think they just name it that and put it right in your face, do they? Yeah. All right. Let's see. Hmm. The first suggestion to change the name to Zion came from Mormon apostle Orson F. Whitney. The biblical Mount Zion was believed to be the dwelling place of God and a symbol of His presence. All right. So they playing games, man. They playing games, but that's all right. Let them keep playing. All right. How Zion National Park got its name? All right. Who that is right there? A man can worship God amongst these great cathedrals as well as he can in any man-made church. This is Zion, and his name is Isaac, huh? Really? That's coming from Isaac. Just so happened to be Isaac. All right. The park's name, Muckantuweep, meaning straight canyon, given by explorer John Wesley Powers. He believed it to be the Paiute name for the area. The name Zion originally comes from Isaac Ben Hunnin, a Mormon pioneer. Is that him right there? Huh. Okay. Settled the Zion Canyon in 1863 near today's Zion Lodge, where he farmed tobacco, corn, and fruit trees. Oh, how convenient. Tobacco, corn, and fruit trees. Uh, Behunin once said of the area, a man can worship. Yeah, we just read that. Okay. Alright. Behunin felt the way he did about this majestic place. Yeah, I bet he did. Alright. But yeah, man, they playing games. They know what it is. See, they do stuff like this so they can be like, well, we did tell you. Okay. We sure. Alright. Anyway. Let's keep it rolling. So I think we pretty much got the history on it. I just like this picture because they actually put a rainbow in there. They trying to let you know. All right, they trying to let you know. The soaring sandstone cliffs, the deep ravines, and the seemingly hidden river valleys have been important to both indigenous people and European American settlers for thousands of years. All right. On January 22nd, 1937, President Roosevelt established a second Zion National Monument, preserving over 36,000 acres, just taking more land. The second Zion National Monument, which is now referred to as the Golub Canyons, was incorporated with Zion National Park. All right, so you just scooped up 36,000 acres. All right, you see some archaeology going on here. Okay, artifacts. All right. Okay. Because at first it was just 16,000 acres for the Muckantuweep National Monument to preserve its many natural features. But in 1937, President Roosevelt added on 36,000 acres. go. It's a lot of land, man. That is a lot of land. Let's look at these Paiute now. These Paiutes. Alright, you got the Paiute refers to three non-contiguous groups of indigenous peoples of the Great Basin. Although their languages are related with the Numic group of Uto-Aztecian languages, these three languages do not form a single subgroup, and they are no more closely related to each other than they are to the Central Numic languages. Alright, so you got the Northern Paiute people of northeastern California, northwestern Nevada, eastern Oregon, and southern Idaho. And then you got the Southern Paiute people of northern Arizona, southern Nevada, and southwestern Utah. And then you got the Mono people of East Central California divided into Owens. Okay. So that's just a little breakdown of the Paiute. That's cool. Alright, now what I thought was interesting, you look these people up, right? The Southern Paiutes. They got them looking like this, man. Hold on. Oh, look at there. What in the world? Huh? Okay. That's supposed to be the Paiutes. That reminded me of some people I done seen before, man. Huh? The Eskimo people. Huh? They trying to tell you that these people not only Eskimo, that they are natives. So these are the people, huh? These people, huh? Take a good look at them, man. Something fishy going on here, man. Man got a teepee over there, don't he? Now you trying to tell me that these are Americans? Because we got the definition of American, a native of America. Today they would call them American Indians, but they're supposed to be a native of America. This was originally applied to the Aboriginals or the copper-colored races. The copper-colored races found here by the Europeans. But guess what? Now, this is applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America. So you must always exalt pride or patriotism. You're American. You're supposed to be proud to be American. But what is this, man? I don't see no copper colored people here, man. Alright? I don't see not one. I'm looking for one. Hold on. Nah, man. That's the Paiutes, man. What's the difference? Alright. So we see what's going on, right? Now it's applied to those who live here. Alright? A a lot of this could be to some of these missions that they had going on, these Spanish missions in the Sonoran Desert, because they had some Spanish missions going on. All right, it was a series of Jesuit Catholic religious outposts established by Spanish Catholic Jesuits and other orders for religious conversions of the Pima and Tejano indigenous peoples residing in the Sonoran Desert. Alright, this is just one example of these missions. Alright, these missions are in the area of the Sonoran Desert, then called the Pimeria Alta. Alright, now divided between Mexican state of Sonora and the U.S. state of Arizona. So yeah, you had these Jesuits going around on these missions, man. Alright. An added goal was giving Spain a colonial presence in the frontier territory of the Sonora, relocating by Indian reductions, settlements, agricultural, ranching, and mining labor. Indian reductions. Alright. This was happening when? I mean, it started in the 1600s. Mm, Still going on in the 1700s. February 3rd, 1768, King Carlos III ordered the expulsion of the Jesuits from Spain and its overseas empires. Despite the order, many Jesuits remained there around the present day Tucson, Arizona, as late as the 1780s. Alright. Mm. These missions. Alright. They had a lot of these missions going on, man. They was on a mission, just like Columbus was on a mission. Alright. To kick people out and change face. But we know that the originals, right? Let's see. Let's see if this pop up. Two tribes grapple with the sacredness of the land. Alright. A Navajo medicine man, professor walking to a museum. Okay. Hold on. Something I want to read on here. Let me see. Mm. There's a spiritual and emotional connection to the land. Alright. Hold on. Historically, Navajos and other Southwest Indian tribes have long had some ties with, now they call them Jews. Alright. Yeah. Mm. So we talking about the original Navajos right here. Alright. Because they had some similarities to the Israelites. Alright, hold on, let me see where it said at. I forgot where it was at. Alright. Uh, the Nissen defined Navajo land as lying between four sacred peaks that were established by the holy people as the cornerstones of the Navajo country. Alright, the window rock for which area is named a windswept red rock opening that stands about half mile from the museum illustrated the connection Taken at its physical geographic description, Window Rock is simply a 200-foot high natural arch of Middle Jurassic bluff sandstone, but as a sacred place, according to the Lafihi.com portal to the Navajo internet, it was one of the four places where the Navajo medicine men go with their woven water bottles to get water for the ceremony that is held for abundant rain. Mm. Alright. As for the U's attachment to their holy land, Roosevelt pointed out, you don't have to live on it. At the same time, he stressed, quoting Psalms 137, if I forget you, O Jerusalem, let my right hand wither. Uh, so, all right, this is talking about their connection to the land, the Navajos. All right, opening the discussion with Shabbat Shalom. Yeah, the biblical land of Israel is sacred land for the Jews. Mm-hmm. It is sacred because God promised it. All right, so that's talking about the Navajos. You don't know the Navajos is over there in that southwest region. All right, they had spiritual, physical, emotional, and divine connections. Now we talking about the Ish. All right, but we know the Ish is jocking off of the real. All right, the ones that call themselves that today, they not the originals. Okay. Let's see. Utah's first people, the Utes, the Paiutes, and the Goshutes. Mm, hold on. Their myths, together with their traditions, told the Utes how they were supposed to live. It was far from the stereotype of Indians as an aimlessly roaming people ruled by primitive whims, ruthless to their women, children, and enemies. The Utes used their territory with systematic efficiency for the gathering of food and for the comfort of the season. Economics determined that they live in a small band of probably fewer than 200 people, except for the large encampment at Utah Lake. This allowed them to maintain their food supply. Alright, long before white contact, the Ute people believed in the mortality of the soul. They believed in a creator God, and that's the name they called it, Sinawau. Alright, we see the wow in it. Sinawau. And other lesser gods, a god of blood, healer, sick, god of weather, controller. The Ute people believed in the pervasive power of the Sinawau, who fought and won over evil forces, and therefore their view of life and afterlife was essentially optimistic. None of the religions of the peoples from the European continent has ever been successful in altering this view among the Ute. Alright, there you go. So yeah, they definitely had similarities to Israelites. Alright, we talking about the original ones, not the ones they call them today. We talking about the original Utes. Alright, the ones that got kicked out of there. Okay, so alright, so we saying that Judah is, let me see, hold on. Let me see if I got any more maps real quick. Yeah, I ain't got too many maps today. We gonna go to Google Earth and look at the Earth map though. But yeah, all right. So we saying that it's over here. All right, Judah. Now, That would go right along with Prester John. Where is that? All right, you got the Prester John map. Let me see if I can get it a little bit clearer. Yeah. All right, you see Prester John right there. All right, who is King David? All right, Prester John right here, India Superior Cathay. All right, you see Florida, Gulf of Mexico. You see all that right here. And it's flipped on this side. All right. Now, if this is the city of David over here, then we have to say that uh, that Prester John is accurate. All right, that would be accurate. Hold on, we already got that. Let me see. So, since we just looked at the Prester John map, just to back up what I'm saying. All right, now if you haven't been over there in 432 the Drops classroom, all right, and you don't know about the Prester John drop, you gonna have to get over there and check it out. But we gonna go over it real quick, because I'm not just saying that he's King David. We got a whole article right here. All right, the legend of Prester John, his lost kingdom in the East. All right, we already got in part one that we are in the East. Okay, the word Orient means East. Okay, but yeah, let's see. Prester John, the founder of the Car Katai. I want to say that King David part at. Let me see. Alright, here we go. A surprising King David of India. Alright. During the 13th century, however, the legend of Prester John gained popularity once again in 1221, the Fifth Crusade, which aimed to recapture Jerusalem. Right? Aimed to recapture Jerusalem and the Holy Land by seizing Cairo. Alright, just like Columbus, he wanted to recapture Jerusalem. The Ayyubid capital ended in failure when the Bishop of Acre, Jacques de Ventry, returned to Europe several years later. He brought with him a piece of good news: a King David of India, apparently the son of the grandson of Prester John, had subdued the Muslim Khwarezmian Empire, which ruled over Persia at that time. Moreover, this King David was rumored to be marching against the other Muslims' powers. Alright? Thus, the Christians of Europe were hopeful that they would be able to defeat the Muslims with the aid of this Christian monarch from the East. So now all of this makes sense. They're saying he's from the East. Alright? They're talking about Muslims. We just got it that, where is that? Yeah, a last crusade must take back the Holy Land from the Muslims. And that when their Christ comes, he will come back in place he lived and died, Jerusalem. Alright? So this is what Columbus was doing it for. He was going hard. Now let's get another source just to back up the talk about Prester John. Alright? Let's see that he is King David. Prester John 4, waiting for David. All right. Prester John and David are connected. All right. Let's see. Uh, all right. King David. Wait a minute. It wasn't actually Prester John in the text. It was King David. But who was that? Where did he come in? Where did he come from? King David comes into the story in a family of texts that circulated at this time, texts known as the Relatio de David, that actually reached and were read by Jacques de Vitry on crusade in Egypt. And what were they all about? What had this King David done? The overall theme was fairly constant. A mighty Christian ruler from the east dodged a hijack. It was not Christian. We just got on the other article he wasn't Christian. But the details varied, as did the connection to our main topic here. Alright? In one of the texts there is talk of this David of the many great cities and lands which he ruled. Some of the names easily identifiable as for Bukhara, Merv, and Khwarizm, some less obviously so. Alright, so this is gonna keep going on. But yeah, we talking about King David. Alright. Mm. A prophecy had been made that the young David would make this King of Kings lands his own. The great king had David in his power at one point, was going to kill him, but he was shamed out of killing a boy who was under his protection. So now we're dealing with Saul, the story with Saul and David. Alright. But they done threw this hijack in here with this Christ stuff, man. Alright, but I just want to show you, Pastor John, we're talking about King David now. Let's get one more source. Alright. Now this one, we're talking about the promised land, the lasting lore of Prester John's promised land. Alright. They keep trying to call him a Christian. Mm. This enigmatic figure, whose realm was rumored to be awash with untold riches and marvels beyond the comprehension of the outside world, represented a beacon of hope and curiosity in the medieval mind. The quest to uncover Prester John's domain spurred numerous expeditions, weaving the myth deeply into the fabric of medieval exploration and cultural exchange. Despite the passage of time, the allure of Prester John's promised land continues to inspire tales of adventure and eternal human yearning for discovery. Now, where they say something about David at? Hold on. Prester John has that Mongol connection. Here we go. The monarch, victorious in Persia and advancing towards Baghdad, was heralded as a redeemer who would reclaim and restore Jerusalem. However, the King David in question was none other than, and now you got Genghis Khan on there, all right? The Mongol overlord. Now we know that David and Genghis Khan had a beef, all right? And Genghis ended up hijacking uh, the King David or the Khan title, right? The legendary war between Prester John and Genghis Khan, culminating in Prester John's defeat, served to humanize the myth, grounding it in historical conflicts, yet distancing it from its fantastical roots. Alright? So another link here telling you about King David connected to Prester John, which would make absolute sense, seeing that we are saying, what is that? So now this would make sense. Seeing Prester John right there. We're Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, California. All right, you got all that right there. India Superior, Cathay. This makes sense now, right? Prester John, if that's King David and if that's Jerusalem and Zion, that's in the perfect spot. All right. Now let's get it from scriptures real quick. We're gonna go to First Chronicles, chapter 11. Verse 3. Therefore came all the elders of Israel to the king to Chevron, and David cut a covenant with them in Chevron before Hawa, and they anointed David king over Israel according to the word of Hawa by Samuel. And David and Israel went to Jerusalem, which is, what's that? Yevuk or Jebus, where the Jebusites were, the inhabitants of the land. And the inhabitants of Jevuk said to David, you shall not come hither. Nevertheless, David took the castle of Zion, which is the city of David. See? City of David, Zion. Alright? They go hand in hand. Let's back that up with 2 Samuel chapter 5, verse 7. Nevertheless, David took the stronghold of Zion. The same is the city of David. Alright? So we can see what's going on, right? Alright? Now, let's get a look at, matter of fact, hold on. Let's go look at Google Earth real quick. Let's see, where is Zion National Park at, man? Alright, right here. Utah. Alright. Zion National Park. We're just gonna survey the area real quick. Just gonna check it out. So, they go Mesa. Alright, what they said was Mesha, right? You saw that, right? Let's see what we can see. We just look around a little bit. South Guardian Angel. South Guardian Angel right there. North Guardian Angel. Northgate Peaks East. Alright. Fire Pit Knoll. Burnt Mountain. What is Burnt Mountain? Alright, Mount Sinai's got to be around here somewhere. Because they said all three of them is facing each other. Alright, now I don't know if we're going to be able to see Eden. We're just looking around a little bit. Let's see. Hold up. There goes Zion National Park. You got Ivan's temple. We got Mount Majestic right here. Look at the names they got on the stuff, man. Mount Majestic. Alright. That would be like the Most High. Mount Majestic, right? Oh, I wonder if that's Mount Sinai. I don't know. The Great White Throne. Look at that. The Great White Throne. Lady Mountain. Oh, we got, hold up. That ain't going too fast on that. Hold on. Let's see. Twin brothers. Alright. That would be Jacob and Esau, right? Twin brothers. Mountain of the Sun. The East Temple. That makes sense. We in the East. Alright. Let's see. We're just looking around. Checkerboard Mesa. Clear Creek Mountain. Oh, here you go. You got Abraham Peak. All these biblical names. Isaac Peak. Abraham Peak. Alright. Nothing but mountains over here. Alright. Let's see. Let's see if we get a close up on that Zion National Park real quick. What did I say again? No, drop the pen. Take the pen back. Go back to it. Alright. Let's see. South Guardian Angel. Okay. Cedar Mountain. Let me see. Where we at? Yeah, let's get a close up at Zion National Park real quick. See what it's looking like. Alright. This stuff is ancient, man. Just looking around. Alright, hold on, go back. Let me get another view. And you just look at the mountain, man. You can see that it was an actual structure at one point. What we got going on right here? Yeah, man. You can tell it used to be like a wall or something right there. All this used to be something. Alright? It got too many ridges in it. Look. That used to be something right there. Leads you to something. Look like you can go through there. Yeah, I think this is the real Zion right here, man. What about you? Now, if it's not, it's definitely nearby. I mean, just look at the view. Alright? And this is all desolated, man. This used to be something right here we standing on. Okay, I just wanted to get a little view going on. If you didn't know. Anything else that stands out before I get up off of here? Uh, that's the Virgin River. Let's take that off. Oh, there we go. The land of Canaan, huh? You got Canaan Mountain right there. Alright. Mm-hmm. But then it took all this. Look, the Watchman. You go to Watchman. The altar of sacrifice. The bishopric. Yeah. All this is ancient, man. All this is ancient. Even when you just look at the tops of them, when you just look at the tops, it look like they all got chopped down or something. You know? But yeah. I think this is where it all went down at, man. You can get a view of Mount Nebo real quick. When they say Moshe went, that's right around the corner. That's the real Mount Nebo. Alright. Let's see the view that Moshe got. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You can see everything from up there. Dang, I can't even get back to the top. Hold up. Yeah, that's what Moshe was looking at. He was up here. Oh yeah, he was all the way up here. Here we go. Yeah, he was all the way at the top. And you can see everything. Dang, it keep dropping me down. Hold on. I was trying to get that Moshe view. Alright, I think you get the point, right? Boom. Let's see if we can get right down the cliff so we can see it. I can't get the view like I wanted to get it right now. But yeah, you was way up there. And they say you could just walk right on up here. You could just walk right on up Nebo. Nice little stroll. Alright. Awesome. But yeah, here you go, man. Alright, this the real Holy Land. Alright. Yeah, Nebo is higher than everything. Nebo is up there. Mm-hmm. Still trying to get that view. Alright. I'm gonna let it go. Let it go. Alright. We'll get a quick video in real quick, y'all. Let's look at let's take a look at the park.
Welcome to Zion National Park, a place where towering red cliffs, winding canyons, and breathtaking trails make every visitor feel like they've stepped into a postcard. Today, we're counting down the top 10 things to do in Zion National Park, starting from the least popular, but still awesome, and working our way to the absolute must-see spot. But before we start, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more amazing content. Let's dive in. Number 10, Kolob Canyons. Let's kick off our list with Kolob Canyons, Zion's lesser known but equally stunning section. If you love dramatic cliffs and fewer crowds, this is the place to be. The 5-mile scenic drive offers jaw-dropping views, and the Taylor Creek Trail takes you past ancient homesteads to a stunning double-arch alcove. It's like Zion's best-kept secret, until now. Number 9, Checkerboard Mesa. Ever seen nature do geometry? Checkerboard Mesa is a sandstone hill covered in, you guessed it, checkerboard-like cracks. It's a great stop along the Zion Mount Carmel Highway, and if you're into photography, this is a perfect place to capture Zion's unique rock formations. Plus, it's fun to imagine nature playing tic-tac-toe. If you're enjoying this video, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more such travel videos. We've crafted detailed itineraries to make your trip even smoother. Click the link in the description to grab yours. Now let's continue with the video. Number 8, Weeping Rock. Despite the slightly dramatic name, Weeping Rock is a short but rewarding hike. The rock literally weeps with water seeping through the sandstone, creating a lush hanging garden. It's a peaceful spot to cool off and take in the greenery. Just don't try to comfort the rock. It's been crying for thousands of years. Number 7, Riverside Walk. Think of this as Zion's red carpet leading to one of its biggest attractions, the Narrows. The Riverside Walk is an easy scenic trail following the Virgin River, surrounded by towering cliffs and lush vegetation. You might even spot some wildlife like mule, deer, or those fearless chipmunks who have no concept of personal space. Number 6, Canyon Overlook Trail. If you want breathtaking views without an all-day hike, Canyon Overlook Trail is your best bet. This 1-mile round-trip hike offers one of the most panoramic views in Zion, and it's perfect for sunrise or sunset. There's even a small cave along the way, so it's like getting a bonus adventure with your hike. Number 5, Emerald Pools. Who doesn't love a trail with waterfalls, hanging gardens, and shimmering pools? The Emerald Pools Trail has it all. You can choose between the lower, middle, or upper pools, or hike them all if you're feeling ambitious. Just don't expect the pools to be glowing green. They're more of a shimmering oasis, but shimmering pools probably didn't sound as magical. Number 4, Zion Mount Carmel Highway. Sometimes, the best adventures are the ones you can enjoy from the comfort of your car. The Zion Mount Carmel Highway is a scenic drive that takes you through dramatic switchbacks, a mile-long tunnel, and views that will make you want to pull over every 5 minutes. Just be prepared for your passenger to yell, "Stop, I need a picture," at least 10 times. Number 3, Angel's Landing. Now we're getting back to the serious hikes. Angel's Landing is one of the most famous and nerve-wracking trails in the US. The final stretch involves gripping onto chains while you make your way along a narrow ridge with sheer drop-offs. Not for the faint of heart, but if you conquer it, the view from the top will make you feel like you've earned your wings. Number 2, the Narrows. Hiking the Narrows is less of a traditional hike and more of an adventure through a river. You'll be wading through the Virgin River between towering canyon walls. Sometimes knee-deep, sometimes waist-deep. Bring waterproof shoes and a good sense of balance. It's all fun and games until someone takes an unexpected swim. Number 1, the Zion Canyon Scenic Drive. And finally, at number 1, we have the Zion Canyon Scenic Drive, the ultimate way to experience the heart of the park. Whether you're biking, taking the shuttle, or road tripping, this route gives you front row seats to Zion's most famous landmarks, including Court of the Patriarchs, the Great White Throne, and the entrance to the Narrows. It's the perfect way to soak in Zion's beauty. No hiking required. And there you have it, the top 10 things to do in Zion National Park.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you, man. All right, y'all. We've come to the end. I'm going to read one chapter in Joel. And appreciate y'all, man, rocking out with me. All right. I had to cover this Zion, man. This was an important one. But now we're going to talk about that great day of Hawaii. All right. Joel chapter 2. Blow ye the shofar in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Hawaii comes, for it is nigh at hand, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. There has not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. And fire devours before them, and behind them a flame burns. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains, shall they leap. Like the noise of a flame of a fire that devours the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. And they shall march everyone on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And Hawaii shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great. For he is strong that executes his word, for the day of Hawaii is great and very terrible. And who can abide it? Therefore also now says Hawaii, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fasting, and with weeping, and with mourning, and rend your heart and not your garments, and turn unto Hawaii, for he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and great of kindness, and repents of the evil. Who knows if he will return and repent, and leave a blessing behind him, even an oblation and a drink offering unto Hawaii? Blow the shofar in Zion, sanctify fast, call a solemn assembly. Gather the people, sanctify the assembly, assemble the elders, gather the children, and those that suck the breast. Let the bridegroom go forth of his chamber, and the bride out of her closet. Let the priests, the ministers of Hawaii, weep between the porch and the altar, and let them say, spare your people, O Hawaii, and give not your heritage to reproach, that the heathen should rule over them. Wherefore should they say among the people, where is their power, the Elohim? Then will Hawaii be jealous for his land and pity his people. Yea, Hawaii will answer and say unto his people, behold, I will send you grain and wine and oil, and ye shall be satisfied therewith. And I will no more make you a reproach among the heathen, but I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea, and his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he has done great things. Fear not, O land, be glad and rejoice, for Hawa will do great things. Be not afraid, ye beasts of the field, for the pastures of the wilderness do spring. For the tree bears her fruit, the fig tree and the vine do yield their strength. And the children of Zion rejoice and be glad in Hawa, because he gives to us the righteous teaching, which descends on us like a teaching rain and a latter rain in the first of the year. And the floor shall be full of wheat, and the fat shall overflow with wine and oil. And I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten, the cankerworm and the caterpillar and the palmer worm, my great army which I sent among you. And ye shall eat in plenty and be satisfied, and praise the name of Hawa, that has dealt wondrously with you. And my people shall never be ashamed. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am Hawa, and no one else. And my people shall never be ashamed. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my Ruach spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my Ruach. And I will show wonders in the heavens and the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of Hawa come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of Hawa shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as Hawa has said, and in the remnant whom Hawa shall call. Alright, Dawada. All praises to Hawa. Catch y'all on the next one. Alright, Shalom.